lovelies, Nightshade here, and I'm back with another video. In this video, as you might have seen, we are going to be covering what you can get if you spend $600 in-game. Mind you, this is me pulling on some of the limited time banners, so these banners might not be around by the time you get to watch this video. But for the most part, I wanted to give y'all an idea of how much you're looking to spend if you want to either complete the outfits or at least get some of their evolutions. Another thing to note is that there are several factors that you have to take into consideration, a few of them being double Stellarite drops, if you're paying full price for Stellarite packs, if you're using limited time currency, farming for gems, and more. And just to remind everyone, there are timestamps listed down below in my description if there's something that you're specifically interested in to learn, or if there's just something that you want to skip directly to in the video because what I'm currently talking about is not interesting to you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. A quick disclaimer before we start, since we are going to be talking about quite a lump sum of money that probably about the average person doesn't spend in a few days in a game. From what I've seen, a good majority of you are new to gacha gaming. With that being said, budget wisely, moderate your spending, because one can get addicted to gacha gaming insanely quick. For everyone else who are veterans in the gacha gaming world, you guys know, while some still may find it ridiculous, it is basically its own form of gambling. Yes, I know, everyone is in charge of their own spending habits and how they waste their money. And while I'm not here directly trying to tell you how to spend or not spend your money, I do want to advise to just watch out on how fast these transactions can pile up and cause a bad habit. The last thing that I want is to know or find out that someone in the community is struggling because they've been making so many purchases in game that they cannot make ends meet in real life. So please make sure that you moderate yourself. Always make sure that you're taking care of you and your loved ones first above all else. Only spend if you have extra money to spare. I know that these outfits are super tempting and it's really hard to resist, but that's specifically why I'm making these videos, so that y'all can live vicariously through me, and as well so that you're actually informed on how much this can take from somebody's wallet. With all that said, thank you so much for listening to my public service announcement. Let's get on with the actual video. So we're going to start off with basics. These are the two banners that I pulled in, Blooming Fantasy and Butterfly Dream. It is important to note how many items are in each set because the average amount of pulls it'll take a player to complete a set will be determined on the items each set has. For example, for Blooming Fantasy, it has 10 total items, which could make one assume that it is more likely that the vast majority of players that pulled ended up getting this set at 200 pulls. Of course, there are several that might have gotten lucky and might have gotten it beforehand. For Flutter Storm, it is likelier that you would complete the set at 180 pulls as opposed to the 200, since it has one less item to worry about. But once again, reiterating my statement, it is likely that you could get it before that. I cannot stress that enough. Remember, gacha equals gambling. This is all a game of luck, my friends. Another mega important thing to add is your Deep Echoes reward system. Now, in the Deep Echoes reward system, we are going to monitor how many pulls we've done exactly, and it's also going to drop select rewards every time we pull X amount of times. Now, this system itself is not affected by the amount of items in each set. As you can see here, these are both banners, Blooming Fantasy and Butterfly Dream, and both of these still have the same drop counters. So we don't need to worry too much about that. 200 to 100 pulls will give you your pick of makeup items. So you are going to be able to select what makeup item you want to drop first, which is amazing in my opinion, because if you're not going to be fully participating in this event and only want, let's say, the lenses, the lipstick, and the eyeshadow, which in my opinion are the most important pieces of the makeup, then you don't have to worry about continuing to pull because you can get all those three within 60 pulls. Which is obviously still a lot, I know, but better than continuing to pull until these items drop at, let's say, 100 or 80 pulls. For 120 pulls, you'll get your profile avatar frame. For 140 pulls, you'll get your Momo cloak. For 180 pulls, it's your first heart shine, which is the evolution for the set. That means if you were lucky and you got the set to drop before 180 pulls, you're going to have to keep on pulling if you want a recolor. If you completed the set at 180 pulls, well, lucky you still. You got a recolor and you got the full set all in one go. And now for 230 pulls, that's going to be your second heart shine, which is your second evolution of the set. And as for your fourth evolution, well, you're going to have to keep on pulling until you complete the full set all over again. Okay, so let's get down to starting off calculations. If you watched my last video, you saw that everything that was available to purchase with real life money, I ended up buying. That totaled to 9,540 Stellarite. Since I knew I was going to buy everything, I didn't do smaller packs to get an exact amount. Instead, I just purchased everything in the Stellarite shop. So this means that I was able to buy all the shop packs, which included my double Stellarite drops. So my remaining balance after purchasing all of the shop stuff was 17,460 Stellarite. Now, in addition to the Stellarite that I had left over, I had 656 pink gems, which were a collection of quests, chests, and rewards for completing the clothing shop sets, in addition to rewards from redeem codes. And as for the revelation crystals, I went ahead and purchased everything there was available under the featured tab. So now, in addition to the $217 spent on all Stellarite pack, we added an additional $35.66 to my tab, bringing us up to a grand total of 253 USD. That is, of course, me rounding up to the nearest dollar. All right, so now let the fun begin. Or pain, whatever way you're looking at it. So I started off with the fairy set, which is Blooming Dreams, because throughout my whole beta experience, I actually had Flutter Storm, and I loved it, but this was something new, and I wanted to try it out. Plus, I love the idea that it could be swapped out for your standard floating outfit. So it took me a total of 200 resonances in order to get this set, which is honestly quite painful because I saw so many people saying that they got this set beforehand at 150, 140, 130, 180, and I was like, oh my god, how? You lucky stylist. I was so jealous. As you can see, for the most part, everything was pretty standard. I did get a 5-star drop for every 20 pulls. Since I was aiming to get everything, the drop rate itself didn't really concern me. But if I wasn't pulling for everything, I would be mad at my pulls because it took me a total of 10 pulls in order for me to get the dress. I didn't get the hair till the very last thing, and the wings was 14 pulls in. So it's like, wait, what? Like, it would have been expensive for me to get any of the pieces that I really wanted, with the exception of the earrings, which actually dropped on the second pull. So as far as the evolutions, y'all already know how this applies. At 180 pulls, you do get the first evolution for the set, which I surpassed by 20 because I had to pull 200 times in order to complete the set to begin with. So like, yay me, I guess. So unfortunately for this one, I actually did not complete the final evolution. I really wanted to. I only have 3 items so far. So this is where our math is going to come in. So I'm at 252 resonance attempts. I only have 3 duplicates out of the 10 needed in order to get the final evolution. So think about it. Doing the math, if I have the worst luck possible, or in other words, following the basic standard of the banner mechanic, I would have to do a total of 14 more 10 pulls in order to fully get those 7 items. Granted, I can get lucky, but that's a big if. Like, I am taking that big chance. And if we're doing the math, diamonds or Stellarite wise, I would need 16,800 in order to complete this, which, mind you, I clearly do not have because I did complete the other limited time banner, which we're about to get into. And of course, that means that I don't have double Stellarite drops anymore, and I've already bought all the title resonance packs in the shop. So how much would that be theoretically if I were to spend? I am looking at a total of $222. That would be buying 2 of the 6,480 Stellarite packs, which are the $100 packs, and getting a 300 Stellarite pack, which is the $499 pack, which is crazy. That is so crazy. Like, wow, I have to spend this much in order to get that. And mind you, like I said in the very beginning, this is only considering monetary value. Like, this is only considering me buying stuff with money, not including grinding for gems or anything like that. Just wow! Like, wow. I'm sorry. It's the first time that I'm doing the math. Like, I'm doing the math with y'all right now for this one. And it's like, it's just blows my mind. Anyways, let me show y'all what they look like on all different skin tones. I I'm at a loss for words with this one because I got lucky, y'all. At least as far as my first pulls are concerned, because I legitimately finished the set in 150 pulls. That's all it took in order for it to fully drop, which is lucky considering that we could have gone on to 180 pulls, but I did not. So I'm happy about that. I literally had 3 5-star items drop back to back to back, which were my last 3. Crazy. So this is a set that I actually fully evolved, and I pulled a total of 310 times in order to acquire all 9 pieces of this set. Doing the math, we know that comes out to a grand total of 37,200 pink gems or stellarite. Now remember how in the last section, I mentioned how only to get 7 pieces of one set, it would take me about 16,000 stellarite or pink gems to accomplish. Now imagine doubling that and adding just a little bit more to get to 37,000. That is where the extra $400, oh my god, when I say it like that, ouch, that is where the extra $400 comes out from, which totals the $600 total that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. It is insane. I know. It's crazy, but the dress is gorgeous. The justification, the dress is gorgeous, and now y'all know. That's my justification for this video. No, but for real, like, I want y'all to know how expensive this is. Like, everybody knew from the get-go how expensive this is. And granted, nobody is forcing you to get these sets. Nobody's forcing me to get these sets. I'm doing this because I want to. That's just the way that Gacha works, y'all. It is what it is. Like I mentioned before in my shop video with the 4-star set, you don't need the evolutions. The evolutions come to be kind of purely cosmetic and for completionists, people that want to have 100% wardrobe completed. In previous Nikki games, when you get a certain recolor of a set, it does amplify its styling power. However, I haven't seen that come into play here. So there might be an update on that, who knows? But as of right now, as it stands, there is no real purpose to it. I apologize that I immediately went radio silence after the last few animations, but I really just wanted to shut up while y'all experienced that final evolution scene. It's such a vision. It's beautiful. I absolutely love that animation, and I love that they went that extra mile to add these special animations whenever you fully evolve a set. You can expect to see these in all your other 5-star sets once it is fully evolved. So something I did want to cover before getting to our final note, and that is basically, will banners have reruns? As I stated in my intro, banners are your limited time event resonances. We in the community all have different terminologies for all of this since we play different gacha games, and that's typically what these limited time events are called. They're banners, they're pavilions, so you will see all of these terms floating around. Just wanted to clear that out. And of course, I also wanted to mention how often you can expect to see these rerun. An official statement from the game itself obviously has not been released, but as a longtime Nikki player and a player of their other IPs, you normally do expect to see events like this rerun after a certain period of time. The typical time frame is anywhere from 1 year to a year and 6 months. Take this with a grain of salt because of course this is just based off of my previous experiences, but typically that is their waiting period. We get a slew of new events thrown at us first, and then they gradually start releasing reruns. The exception to this rule is only if it's a collaboration event. Typically the company collaborates with other brands or other gaming IPs, where for a limited time, they offer exclusive sets that are inspired or basically just reimagined in the Nikki world. We've seen such instances like this with Sanrio, Disney, Barbie, Cardcaptor Sakura, Evangelion, and more. Since this is all copywritten content, they do have access to this material for a certain period of time. Once that time period expires, that's usually when they stop running the event, and these typically are the outfits that are literally exclusive and never return. So if something like that is announced in the future, make sure to keep an eye out. So there you have it, y'all. That is it for today's video. I hope that this was informative, to say the least, that it helped you kind of get an understanding as far as to how much would have to be spent to fully obtain some of these sets with just money alone, not considering the grinding and the farming. I'm hoping that this will help prepare you for future limited time events. That way you already have some footing and know what you're getting into. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!